Hello children, good morning to you all. How are you? After a long time we are meeting again. So this week or 10 days like that we are going to start with our social studies and English again. I have completed 2 lessons in social studies and 1 lesson in English, right? So today I am teaching you an interesting poem. Understand? So many days holidays you have got. Passing the time was a great problem for you people, right? Yes or no? So some of you must have done with playing. You can't come out of the house also, right? That's why you must have engaged yourselves with some or the other games at home, indoor games, or reading storybooks, etc. So some children, they go so deep into the story that they imagine themselves in the stories. Whatever stories they are reading, suppose the story is about animals, they think they are with the animals. If the story is about any jungle, they think they are roaming in the jungle. Understand? Such things will go on. That's why here is a poem for us. The name of the poem is The Land of Books. The Land of Story Books. This is our poem, and this poem is written by a great writer, Robert Louis Stevenson. Poet's name is Robert Louis Stevenson. It is the name of the poet. Who is the poet? One who writes poems is called poet. One who writes poems is called a poet. Here is a small information about him. He was a Scottish novelist. Scottish means he belonged to Scotland in Europe, one small country in Europe. He wrote so many dramas, storybooks, novels, poems. Understand? Treasure Island, you know, a kind of what to say, animation cartoon. I can say cartoon it is. Okay, cartoon shows on the Treasure Island, Kidnapped and the Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So many such books he wrote. Understand? In our poem today, he wrote so many stories for the children, even the poems also for the children. In our poem today, what we are going to see is a boy. We are a family, no? At home, what happens? Mother is engaged in her work, father does his work. Nowadays, one more fashion, work from home for everybody. So, parent is busy with his work, mother is busy with her work, and nobody will play with you and all. So what you do when you read a story, you imagine about the story and you imagine that you are one of the characters of the story. That happens with the child in our poem, The Land of Storybooks. He reads the stories and he starts imagining that he was one of the characters in the story. Why it happens so? Because parents are busy with their work, their pastime, their activities. That's why the child feels alone at home. And even then also, you people have, no, on holidays you will play teacher, kitchen set girls will play. Understand? Dolls marriage they play. You boys, you play doing some hut like that, or playing being teacher or PT sir like that, or you do some other things like having a market shop. Means you are not really a shopkeeper, you are not really a PT sir, or girls not really moms. What do they think? Just imagining about it and you enact, observing all the people around you. Same way, in our poem, The Land of Storybooks, The child imagines that he goes into the fantasy land of storybooks. Why? Because he could think he is reading the storybooks about the lions, tigers, the forest. He thinks that he is there with the storybook. He feels about he is one of the characters. So, before going to explain you the poem, what I told about Robert Louis Stevenson. He is the writer of the poem. We call the writer of the poem the poet. Okay. So what he writes? He writes very good poems for the children. Understand? First, let me read the poem, The Land of Storybooks. At evening when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing and do not play at anything. Now, with my little gun, I crawl all in the dark along the wall and follow round the forest track away behind the sofa back. There, in the night, where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie and play at books that I have read till it is time to go to bed. These are the hills, those are the woods. These are my starry solitudes. And there the river by whose brink the roaring lions come to drink. I see the others far away, as if in fire-lit camp they lay, and I, like to an Indian scout, around their party prowled about. So, when my nurse comes in for me, home I return across the sea and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. This is the poem. So, here we have how many lines, children? 24 lines. 4 lines, one set we have, stanza. Like that we have 6 stanzas. So 6 into 4, 24 lines poem it is. Understand? So simple to understand. It is just like a story. You play like soldiers with gun and all, no? Same way it happened here. The child says, at the evening, boy, he says, at the evening when the lamp is lit. At evening, when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing and do not play at anything. In the evening, generally what do? We lit the lights at home, right? And when it is the evening, night time, father comes from office, mother cooks food. They sit together talking about some whereabouts and all. And you are left alone. That's how here in the poem also, at evening time, when the lamp is lit, when the lights are on, around the fire my parents sit. Around the fire means in foreign countries, fireplace will be there. In the European countries, they are cold countries, children. That to northern parts, Scotland, Ireland, and what else? Spain, Great Britain. They are all in cold areas. That's why to keep themselves warm, they have fireplace in every room. So people try to sit near the fire to keep them warm. And they go on chatting, reading books and all. When they are free, they used to sit near the fire. Fireplace will be there. Like one shelf they do. We have chimney in the kitchen. Nowadays, pipe, chimney in the kitchen. Same way, they will have a fireplace where logs are burnt. And they will have like this chimney to let the smoke go out. Understand? So, why? Because in European countries, it is very cool climate is there, so that the people cannot withstand such a cool climate, so they try to keep themselves warm. So they sit near the fireplace and they start doing their work, like talking, singing, they are busy with their work. So, and they do not have any time to play with the kid. That's its problem. So it reads the storybooks and all, keeps itself engaged. Now, with my little gun, I crawl all in the dark along the wall and follow round the forest track away behind the sofa back. So the boy must have read the story about a soldier or hunting in the forest. What he does, he takes his little gun, play gun, and he crawls. Crawls means, have you ever seen the soldiers crawling? Means very close to the falling, means lying on the ground, we move. That is called crawling. Babies generally do it. Even you must have seen the soldiers also. So he must be playing either hunter or soldier's role. So all in the dark along the wall. So he took his gun and he started crawling along the wall. Suppose this is the wall, along the wall. Where? Behind the sofa back. If sofa is there, its back side, he was playing. Understand? There in the night where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie and play at books that I have read till it is time to go to bed. When he plays like this, at night, when nobody will spy, spy means notice, find, search him. They are busy in their work. That time, spy means playing, spy means searching for something like that. Understand? So nobody will do that for him. That is why what he does, he thinks that backside of the sofa as his hunter's camp. So he played the role of a hunter. So he thinks he is in the forest and he has a camp, tent where he can rest in the forest. It is called camp. So at the back of sofa he could play, thinking it a hunter's camp. Camp means the place where you can rest in the tents outside the outside your house. Maybe any village or any forest. And play at books that I have read. What he will do? He read the books now during holidays. Whatever characters are there in those stories, he used to play them. Till when? Till it is time to go to bed. Till he had to go to bed, go to sleep. Till then, he used to play daily one type of things. There are the hills and these are woods. These are hills, these are woods. He says, he thinks backside the sofa. These are hills and these are woods. Woods means not the wood which you use for burning, children. Wood means here a small forest. Wood means a small forest. Okay. So here are some hills and here are some woods. These are my starry solitudes. These are my starry solitudes means moments which you like to stay alone. Why the child likes to stay alone? It can play whatever it wants to play. The boy, he can play whatever he wants to play. That's why he thinks he is passing the time in his starry, happy solitude. Solitude means staying alone. Staying alone. Understand? In their own happy mood. They like to stay alone and enjoy themselves. That is called solitude. And there the river by whose brink The roaring lion comes to drink. What he imagines at the back of the sofa set? He thinks there is the river by whose brink. There is a river by whose brink means edge of the river, bank of the river. Brink, he says. Brink means edge of the river, border, which we call bank of a river. There who comes? The lions come roaring to drink water from that river. Okay, then what happens? I see the others far away as if in fire-lit camp they lay, and I, like to an Indian scout, around their party prowled about. So he could see some people staying away in the fire-lit camp. Means they were taking rest in the camp. He imagines that way. And what he does, he would just like an Indian scout. Scout means, children in schools, when we were small, we used to have in some schools, now also is there, scouts for boys and guides for girls. Means we can learn how to rescue ourselves. It is a part of our education, just like serving the nation, we can say. Understand? Next, it will be useful to you when you are joining any police service or soldiers, army, navy, etc. So he prowled about, means he went all around them. So when my nurse comes in for me, home I return across the sea and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. So till when he plays, till his nurse means not the one in the hospital, children, you think that she is only called the nurse. Nurse means a caretaker. In some families, parents are busy, they cannot look after the children. So they appoint somebody who can take proper care of the children. They are called nurse. Okay. When his nurse comes to take him, because it's the time to bed, what he does? He was not happy to go back to bed. In that time, what he does? He looks back at his dear land of storybooks. What is the land of storybooks? Which he created in his imagination in one room of the house, that it is a jungle, he is hunting, the lion is coming to drink water from the river. There are some forests, there are some hills, there is a scout camp, some fire camp where people are taking rest. All these imaginations will be put to an end when his nurse comes to take him to bed. This is the poem. Now once again I read. Please open the book and look into the book, and I want you people to learn 12 lines of this poem. First 12 lines you learn. Okay. So let me read the poem. You also look into the book. At evening when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing and do not play at anything. Now, with my little gun, I crawl all in the dark along the wall and follow around the forest track. Means forest track means a small way in the forest. Away behind the sofa back. There in the night where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie and play at books that